I'm Bashir Gauss. I play Karnain, he, him, the Summoned, a ancient apocalyptic monster sealed beneath a wall by some jerk in horns who didn't want the world to get eaten, and more recently summoned by a deeply hapless wannabe mage. He is deeply enjoying a world of enormous luxury compared to what he's used to, and has more recently realized, oh, right, Herald of the Apocalypse, I might actually have to do that soon, and brother wants that done. And is having some thoughts about the entire thing. Next person.
I'll take next person. Hi, I'm Mo, they, she pronouns. You can find me on all the socials at Serena Bezos. I play Nira, the Divine. Basically, was a harbinger of the apocalypse as well in another sense. Maybe a part of the apocalypse. We'll see. Let's future's hazy. Come back later. Kupo.
Sure. Hi, I'm Kupo, pronouns are they, them, and I am playing Haiti, whose also pronouns are they, them. And Haiti is the Snoop in this game, and basically that just translates to fantasy streamer. And they are in way over their heads, but they, you know what they say, fake it till you make it. So they're just trying their best.
Yep. Which I guess leaves Wu Ming. Hi, I'm Connie, pronouns they, he, and she. I am playing Wu Ming, the professional, pronouns she, her. She's just a regular person like Haiti, except she does not have a loyal following on fantasy Twitch. No siree. She, I think, is gonna quit her job. I think she's going to quit her job at the agency because clearly they do not have her or the world's best interests at heart. And now that our chosen is out of the picture, I'm not sure what Wu Ming is going to do with these two potential harbingers of the apocalypse, ? As well as her son. She has a son, I think, that she's fostering with Haiti, a child. So we're going to see what's going to happen with that. Also, she has a stag that she loves very much.
Bought some mages.
So I
yeah.
can. We confronted the apparent leader of the Ascendants, and a bunch of her buddies at the like air temple thing. That and fought them, trying to stop them from getting this bow artifact. We killed a couple of the mages. We subdued another, but Aruj got away, and after the fight managed to teleport back in and steal the bow, though Wu Ming managed to save her intern in the process. The Wu Ming managed to save her intern from a terrible fate in the process. Let's see, what else am I missing here? Barnain had a important conversation with his brother, namely on the fact that he kind of wants that his brother kind of wants that apocalypse handled pronto, or started pronto, and Cardain has mixed feelings on the entire thing. We learned that the Ascendants' next part of their plan, they're looking for 2 more artifacts, and Amon, our guest character for several episodes, left to deal with one while we are investigating the other.
Okay, so can you let me know what happens if our wounds are unstable again? Okay, it looks like Nira.
Hello. Yes. I was gonna add more to that. I was like, wait, my brain fritzed. I have wait, no. Which one do I have? Where is lay on hands? And I think I used this before on Wooming. So I don't know how Wooming feels about me touching her again, especially after our argument. So, but
yeah,
I think,
you'll notice that Wooming, as we're like on our way back to Koldak, is I don't think she's riding Boog. I think she's like walking Boog and like holding onto Boog's reins. And now that like the adrenaline rush of the battle is over, she's limping a little and she's like clutching the side of her like under like her like right rib. She's like wincing a bit, and you see like sweat dribbling down like one like her temple, and her brow is furrowed.
Wooming, what's going on?
It's nothing. I just got a little
You look
kicked around.
wounded. And I think
Yeah.
without even asking, like Nira's gonna like move Wooming's hands so she can see the injury. Like just gently like, move her hand away and just
and Wooming reluctantly removes her hand from her ribs, where you see, I kind of forget the nature of how she got smacked around, but there was, let's just say there's like, I don't think she got pierced or like stabbed or anything, so there's no like blood gushing out. But she looks, yeah, go ahead. Uh-huh. Okay.
And getting hit on the back of the head when Aruj teleported back in. Yeah.
Yeah, she got smacked around. She just looks real beat up. You see like bruising forming, like maybe like on like one side of her face. You see like maybe she like her ribs are a little busted up. You see like dried blood caking the nape of her like shaved head.
I know you want me to ask, so I will. Do you want help with those?
I don't want to drain you for any more magic that you can't spare here.
I've got plenty. And I'm about to go back to the ocean, so I'll be fine.
Then, yeah, I think I need some help.
And I think just delicately and gently, like, the hand's just gonna slide over her ribs. And just, like, rest there. And I'm gonna do lay on hands. Okay. So that's a +3 overall. So, because it's with cool. +3, right? That's a 14.
Yas! Hell yeah.
That'll do it.
So with a 10 plus, it is banished. Wait, no, wrong one. On a 10 plus, you can heal the harm and illness as on a 10. Wait, no, wait, geez. Heal 2 harm or an illness plus they're stabilized. There you go. I was reading.
Hell
wrong
yeah.
one.
What does the magic feel like as you put your hands on Wooming?
I think, yeah, because it's a gentle, like, just cupping the ribs. It feels warm, almost like a warm, like you're sitting in the sunlight, almost like warm water in the sun. Not like in the gross bog sense, but like more of like a refreshing, kind of not like cold, but cool enough to cool you down. Does that make sense? I feel like that makes sense.
That
makes sense.
does.
Yeah.
As like this nice soothing like watery warmth like courses through Wooming's body. How much should I heal myself for?
2.
2.
And you're,
okay.
You're not unstable anymore.
Okay, so I was at 5 out of 7. I was like almost dead. So I am now at 3 out of 7, and I'm gonna unmark unstable. Okay, I think you just see like the and like a crack noise as like Wooming's ribs snap back in place, but maybe like like gently being nudged back into place, like the river like running across like these stones that it's like nudging out of the way, and Wooming like grimaces, but then like lets go of like her side and tentatively straightens up, and like some of the bruises on her face and like on her arms start to like fade away. I think they're still there, right? But you've gotten, she's no longer like almost on the edge of death here.
They're faded now. They're like, about like
Yes.
maybe a week or 2 old.
Yes,
And
definitely. Karina, it's fine. It's fine.
Karina. And I think Nira's gonna just like stare at her and be like, Karina. We understand. Please. That's better than what it was. And I think with that, Nira's gonna look back at Wooming and be like, how are you feeling?
Better. Still feels like I got tossed into the middle of a whirlpool and smacked around by some sentient rocks, but better. All things considered.
Good. And I think like the gaze and being so close is gonna linger just a little bit second longer before Nira let goes and walks away or back towards
hey, thanks. You didn't have to do that.
And I think she's gonna pause and turn around and be like, of course I did. We're a team. And just keep walking.
Right. Teammates. Okay. And Wooming, now that she feels a little bit better, throws her legs over a Boog and gets on her stag.
Haiti is, I think it's finally getting to them that like this is some like real world serious stuff that's happening. And there I can hear. Yeah,
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Are you not being streamed through the OBS?
Oh, I know why. Okay, so should be. Can you hear me now? Is the audio coming through? Yeah, so I keep plugging. Yeah, I keep plugging.
There we go.
And, yeah, unplugging my mic so that
Looks
it
like
just
it
went
works
to
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, continue, please.
So yeah, it's finally hitting finally hitting them that this is things are getting serious. It is now serious business. So I think, wait, where are we again? Are we all separated? Are we like?
I think we're heading back to the city together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're in transit. Okay.
Yep.
I think during the traveling, they're mostly in the back. Usually they're like in the middle, maybe in the front, kind of being oohing and awing and streaming. But for this in this time, they're kind of mostly in the back or close to the back as they can be, and just kind of like thinking to themselves, very pensive. But I think at this time, after the healing, they go to Nina first, and just kind of goes up to her and goes, "So, how are you after all?" Woo!
Real clarification, Nira, right?
Yeah, Nira. Sorry.
It's okay. I heard Nina. I was like, wait, is that me? I just wanted to double check. And Nira's gonna look down at them, and be like, Haiti, I'm okay. Just a little scuffed up, but are you okay? I hope you stayed out of trouble. I know fighting isn't something that you're used to.
Oh yeah, you know me, just I'm a survivor and all that, right? But yeah, this is, I mean, I don't know. I think it's just hitting me, you know? I thought we were just, going town to town and just looking up little mysteries and beating up monsters if we have to, not this whole finding weird mages, sorcerers who are looking for these weird objects that could probably, most likely, end the world. And I don't know, I didn't sign up for this. Did you sign up for it? Because I didn't.
I mean, and I think they just do like one of like the hand gesture of like one of these situations, and like in a look at me, and it's like, this is my path. This is what I have to do, and I understand this is not something you signed up for, but you're a dear friend of mine, and if we keep going down this route, you may be dealing with it as well. And I'm sorry. And that's when Nira's gonna put like a hand on Haiti's shoulder.
Why do you have to be so good and just take everything in stride? Darn it! And like they kind of kick the ground. But so, anyways, I saw you healing looming.
Yeah. Are you injured? Do you need assistance?
No. I'm okay. I was just wondering how she was. That's all.
Oh, I believe she took the worst of the injuries. Myself and Quarantine are not of this world, so fighting is not something that really gets to us, but you and her are both mortals, and those are some things that y'all do have to deal with, and I'm sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. I mean, I am mortal. Wu Ming is kind of like a step above that, you know. She can do so much. She's strong. I mean, you've seen her. She's so strong, you know.
She is, but she's also mortal. And I think there's like a little bit of a sadness to Nira's eyes when she says that, just and like reminding herself in a way of her own feelings and emotions. But inhales slowly and she's like, but She's one of the strongest fighters we have. And I wouldn't want to fight along anyone else.
Mm-hmm. Same. But have you made up with her yet? I mean, it seemed like things were awkward between you two earlier, so I just want to make sure you're okay.
Make up.
Uh,
Apologizing, right?
yes. Make
Do
up.
I need to apologize? I don't think I did anything wrong.
No. Sometimes when you make up with someone, apologies aren't really necessary, just as long as, the two can, discuss together and make sure they're on the same page. Are you? Same page?
I am uncertain. I don't know.
Oh. I mean, well, you're talking with her, right?
Enough? I did ask permission to heal her before I did heal her this time. So that's communication, right?
Yes. Permission, consent, good things. Very good things.
And you hear from the mage who's tied up, now making out, on the other hand, is something completely different.
Can Nira punch them?
Sure.
At the same time, Haiti kicks them too.
Ow!
Shut up! Anyways. Well, and I think at this point, Hades just getting more awkward and doesn't really know how to ask, like, the thing that they really want to ask.
And
So
I think Nira actually sees Haiti holding something back and is like, what is it?
What? No. What? I'm just asking, like, how
It
you
feels
are
like
with
there's
Luke?
more behind your question.
No. I'm just asking how one of my friends is getting along with my other friend, who's also a co-parent. Anyways, yes. So we can all get along. Mm-hmm. Right. That's all I was doing. Okay, I'm just gonna go think with my own thoughts. Okay, bye. And kind of just slows down and starts walking by themselves again.
Where's Cornine in all this?
Garnane
Are you hearing all this conversation happening around you? Or what's going on?
Garnane is kind of he seems kind of elsewhere. He's focused off to the side of the group. He snaps his head around when he hears that Wooming is injured and watches to make sure the healing goes all right. But he seems a little out of it. When he snaps his head around, it's almost like the bottom half of his face takes a moment to follow along as it should. And the skin is hanging a little more loosely on him than it would on someone who was, actually a human being. And he's clearly focused on something else and serious and worried in a way he straight up has not been as far as any of you have ever seen him. He's just also not really calling attention to it. He's kind of just on the side of the group thinking to himself.
Arnane.
Yeah.
As you're sort of having your 1,000-yard gaze and you look up at the sky, it is sort of night slowly making its way to dawn.
Mm-hmm.
You notice something peculiar, and anyone who's looking up the sky, if you kind of look at the stars or whatever, you might notice this too. It seems like the stars in the sky, the constellations and the normal placing of them, looks different. Almost inverse, as if the stars have turned.
Can I see what's going on over there? Wooming is going to draw to a startled halt. Perhaps we can see the glittering lights of Kolnak on the horizon.
Yeah.
As these stars glimmer above our head, and she pauses maybe in the exact place where she saw that cat creature try to stalk her several episodes ago, right?
Yeah.
And this tall grass is blowing on either side of this abandoned road, right? In the night breeze, and she just says, Karnane, Nira, Haiti, are you seeing this?
Yeah,
Stars.
we're, well, Nira, I'm sure you know what this means.
I do. It begins.
And-
We're running
Haiti
out
is
of
still kind of looking down and bumps into Karnane because they're in their own. Wait, what? Why'd we stop? Sky?
You
Yeah,
okay back there?
stars. Still, yeah. Why does everyone keep asking me if I'm okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Stars still twinkling.
And as the stars start to fade away to dawn, you know when the sun starts out in the horizon, it's kind of like this reddish orange and slowly becomes yellow as it goes up into the sky. As you take a moment to see the sky and catch the last stars glimmering in the sky as the sun rises, you notice that orangish red that disappears to sort of that bright yellow of day doesn't. It stays blood red as it slowly moves away from dawn. Oh geez, I see our connect. Okay, my internet connection's fine now.
Yeah, you froze for a half second,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna repeat again. So as you know, that reddish orange glow sort of gives way to the yellow white light of the morning sun, as it sort of rises and leaves the horizon and starts ascending into the sky, that yellow white doesn't happen. It stays blood red, casting a warm glow on everyone that is slightly disturbing. No other mechanical effect, like it doesn't feel any different. The sun's the sun, it's just blood red instead of that yellow white glow.
Can I investigate a mystery here?
Yes, you
Wuming is
may.
gonna like maybe go. What the hell's? She's gonna hop off Boog and like dig through Boog's like saddlebags and pull out these files that she always
Mhm.
keeps on Boog, like this dossier, and like flip through it and like look down at these like notes and like look back up at the at like this like blood red sun. Is that what you said? Like the sun is red?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. What is that? That is plus sharp. Okay. Oh boy. Oh, okay. I have a plus 1 sharp. That's not bad. Okay, that is a 5. That is a 1, 6 plus 1, 7.
That is a 7. So with that, you are able to. Let me quickly read this up.
I think I can ask
You're-
one.
You can ask one.
Okay. I'm tempted between what can it do and what was it going to do and what is being concealed here. What do y'all think?
I feel like what is being concealed here
is like the
probably
good one.
most dramatic
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems
Okay,
the
okay.
closest.
I think my question, Wuming's gonna squint up at this, look directly into the sun, and mutter, "What's going on here?" As I ask the keeper what is being concealed here.
You're just staring
yeah.
inside like, what's going on here?
So you sort of grow over your files, and then you come across what looks to be a copy of an old prophecy somewhere that speaks of some sort of ascendance of a creature. And basically, in sort of poetic verse, imagine that on their arrival, as they escape their prison, an army of monster will rise. Ancient evil will once be reborn. Their stars will be awry. The sun will rise red. A portal shall open, and that creature shall learn their true name and take their throne and ascend.
Does it say anything about where the portal is opening?
Nope, it is like a poetic prophecy of, like, you know, someone long ago, some diviner had seen a particular future where this comes to pass, and someone wrote it down. And It's in your files because there was recently, like, with a lot of supernatural creatures just coming into town, divine or otherwise. People have been, the agency has been looking up old prophecies to see whether it's like, oh, a chosen one's here, cool, that's great, that's cool, or oh no, the apocalypse bringer themselves are arriving.
Is there anything about who the apocalypse bringer could be? Because right now, I think Wu Ming is like looking from this verse to Boog, and then like her gaze, her gaze slides past Boog to Carnane.
If you had to guess between the two of them, and just the two of them, it's definitely not Boog.
Okay.
Carnane has been straight up calling himself a prince of the apocalypse since you met.
Yeah. Wu Ming is gonna stride straight over to Carnane, like flip open this dossier and slap this poetry verse into Carnane's like hands and say, "Care to explain? What is this, Carnane?"
He grabs it, and I think for a moment there's kind of the old "I am going to be messing with people" like humor of just, look, I've been completely honest about what I am this entire time. And then it kind of fades back to like that kind of wistful seriousness, and he goes, Nira knows as well as I do, I think, that nothing lasts forever, and we're coming to the end of you're all coming to the end of something one way or another, and our job isn't to prevent it. Or from your perspective, the way you should be looking at this is you can't stop this from happening. And he kind of gestures with the folder to Wu Ming, but you can choose what it is and what comes out the other side and how comfortable that is for you and the people you like and the people you care about. And I know maybe less than I should, and I've been wasting a lot of time not dealing with it. But I'm going to be doing if I have any say on what's on the other end of this, you and Haiti and Tim will hopefully come out as well as you can. But Nira knows as well as I do the apocalypse is coming one way or the other.
Whoa, hold up. And Haiti just rushes, like kind of strides in next to Carnane and Wu Ming and points at the dossier. What is that? What are you talking about? Because that sounded almost like an apology, but clearly wasn't. And it sounded like you were trying to cheer us up, and you clearly didn't. So please explain and make sure the butterfly is like right in Carnane's face.
Looks at the butterfly, looks at Haiti, and then I think he genuinely does perk up again. Sure, let's just drop the entire I don't believe in the entire, all prophecies need to be mysterious bullshit thing that our friends here have going on. The end of the world's coming. And it's come a few times before, and it's not like everything dies and the world is gone. And I was there the last time, and I ate everything that I could get to until someone beat me and beat my brother and trapped us under a wall for 8,000 years. And whatever comes next is going to be as big as that, if not bigger. I am, as I've mentioned, a prince of the apocalypse. I am one of several things that can happen to the world in one of several ways. The Ascendants have their view of it, and their view of it destroys a lot of stuff you might like, and hey, maybe it sees humans as top dogs for a bit. Until, the trees burn and the rivers dry and you have nothing to eat anymore. And I'm sure the elementals have their bit, and I don't know what that looks like because it's clearly not happening. No offense, Nira. You're nice. It's clearly not happening.
None taken.
And then there's me, and I'm not sure how much control I have over my end, but I would very much like a lot of the things y'all have come up with over the past few thousand years to keep being a thing once I stop being, all of this, and he gestures to himself, and start being me again.
So you weren't just being full of yourself when you said Prince of the Apocalypse?
No.
For
Complete truth. I have explained
actual-
exactly what I am since I got here.
Oh, shit.
Not my fault. No one believed me.
I believed you.
Well, yes, you believed me. And Amon believed me.
Okay. How do we stop it?
You don't.
You can't, you figure out what the options are and you choose one you like. You don't stop it.
Pretty much that, yes.
When I arrived, humans were like small tribes with rocks, beating each other over the head and trying to hunt down antelope. When I got stuck under a rock for 8,000 years, you had iron and lead and nations. Or, bronze and lead and nations.
The magical butterflies.
What you were and what the world was fundamentally changed between me arriving and someone stopping me. You're not going to get anything less than that this time around.
And I think Nier's going to take this moment between everybody and be like, it's just your outlook of how it happens. It's how it will affect you.
You
And-
hear? Sorry.
Yeah, I
Go
think
ahead.
Nira start to have your dialogue because Nira's going to probably smack them as soon as they talk, but have it.
You hear the mage pipe up, or, the humans could win this time. Just let the Ascendants do what they need to do. It'll take care of all of these supernatural freaks.
And then you
Okay.
boil to death in a few hundred years. Your call.
Is there any water near us? I just want to.
Yeah, you're not in a desert. You are in a lush, fertile, pretty close to sea level land. Waters aplenty.
I think if there's mist happening because it's dawn and mist happens along the hillsides, I think Nira's gonna suck the moisture out of the air and just shoot it straight into that guy's nostrils.
And just almost falls off the
Ow.
horse.
Silence, mortal. Before I give you more
Spoiler,
water,
he's not mortal anymore, right?
he can still die. He's mortal.
He
we
does
can
not.
still die.
He does not look to be a defiler mage, just a
Ah.
regular ass mage.
Eyeballs. Has eyeballs. Mortal.
All right.
So you're saying that not only is the apocalypse going to come, it's inevitable, and no amount of struggling we do is going to stop that.
Correct.
Well, you get to choose what it is. It's not necessarily, everyone dies forever. I mean, the last one kind of looked like, the extinction of all life on Earth and then turned out to be government and bronze weapons. And yeah, that kind of sucked for a lot of people. But y'all came through. Y'all came out better than you started, arguably.
Either way, a lot of people are going to die. I can't let that happen. There has to be another way. There has to be a way to end this cycle of apocalypse.
I
It's not
agree.
more-
There has to be.
It's not an apocalypse, the change of nature. Things change, things grow, things break from this, and things grow from those wounds. It's not like the end all be all, like Corning says it is. It's more of a shift in the world's path. It's violent and it's dark.
So you're saying this is just a part of the circle of life? This is just how things always have been, currently are, and will always continue to be?
People live, people are
At some
born,
point, the
people
sun
live,
dies, but
people die. People, and it's
Yeah, but not everyone dies by way of a mass extinction event.
it doesn't have to be a mass extinction event. There were a lot of mistakes made last time. I mean, they get their way, and he points at the mage. Yeah, you'll have a mass extinction event, maybe a couple. But there are probably ways out of this that don't involve mega deaths. And if I can find one, I'll give it a shot, because I really do like what you all have going on. I haven't been like biding my time to eat everything here.
All right, let's say we buy into this. Okay, we're screwed either way. We just choose the less of our choices. What are our choices?
Well, Nira, what's the divine option here?
You know, I was sent here to be a harbinger to bring on. They don't really give you details. They're like, you'll know when you know.
Speaking of which,
Oh, am I getting a ping? Am I getting a download right now?
yeah, you do. You see, that you get a ping from the divine realms, for you, which is water, and you see essentially several different possible futures as a warning. You see one where the siphons are made, the ascendants succeed, and suddenly the elements are no more. Gone. The mortals live, world continues as normal. Just no more magic. No more elements. And you essentially see, you do not know who this is. You see a person who becomes God, who has all the light, all the life, the spark, the magic of the elements and the jar and of this world in them. But because there's no more renewal, it is even though it is huge and magnificent, it is not limitless, as the cycle of life is what creates this like unseeming, like this limitlessness, as it replenishes as creatures die, and then creatures are born and die. That cycle ends, and this creature starts using their magic, and slowly, as they start using their magic for all sorts of things, being God, whether it is benevolent or not, the world starts to become dry. It starts to water sort of, there's cracks on the earth. It becomes almost a post-apocalyptic wasteland, as there's not much life, and the only way for this godlike creature to replenish is to consume life. And there's very little life left, as when people die, there's nothing to replenish it. Another future you see where the ritual does not succeed, but the age of change arrives, and mortal beings are now subject to the elements at their full force and nature. Civilization has a hard time trying to keep up, as the elements rage and punish the mortals for their hubris, and you see another future where this poem, this prophecy happens, and another godlike creature takes its place. But you are not sure whether this is Carnane or someone else. As the world becomes a world of carnage, and then you're suddenly back in your space, and that question is asked. Nira, what do you think?
We have three options. Let the mortals win with their defiling magics, and let the world be dried of every essence that it is to become just a wasteland. Let nature take its course and allow storms beyond comprehension to happen. And I think that's when Nira looks at Cornane, is like, be all consumed.
So we've got the heavens view on things. Here's mine. We've got what my brother, still stuck in the wall, wants. Namely, we get out and he gets out and probably everything gets eaten. We drive the survivors into the small caves. We fire our missiles to heaven, and they come back bloodstained, and then we're all wiped out in the scourge of God, etc., etc., gods, etc., etc., etc. What was supposed to happen 8,000 years ago, barring some other weird bloody change. We've got the Ascendants, which, you get rid of all the magic and eventually you all starve to death, which, hey, not great. We've got, the normal change, which less than pleasant. And my suggestion, I take over. I figure out what's up with my brother, maybe figure out some detent, maybe less pleasant solution. And then we keep the hedonism going as long as it goes until someone kicks me out.
So you're suggesting you commit fratricide, supplant your brother as Prince of the Apocalypse, and become a benevolent dictator.
That's a strong word. Easily sated.
And what, Carnane?
Palacefuls of jalebi as far as the eye could see.
Okay, I don't care about that so much. Are you going to demand human sacrifice?
I've gotten through a good few months without eating anyone alive, and I've killed fewer people than Amon or Nira so far since I've got here.
You misunderstand. Wu-Ming strides up to Carnane and punches him in the chest with this prodding finger, right? She says, "Is the power going to get to your head?"
I do not know and can't tell you. There's still a lot missing up here. We're on stage 3 of this thing, and there's a bit yet.
Wu-Ming turns to the rest of the party and says, "I don't like any of these options. But strangely enough, Carnane is the one that feels safest."
Hey, that's what I like to hear.
I have one requirement if we go Carnane's way, which is that without you knowing what it is, Carnane, Nira, Heidi, and I figure out a failsafe. If you ever become too much of a dictator, we pull that failsafe and we kill you.
That sounds fair. I mean, last time around, I don't think, dude wearing a weird helmet traps us under a wall of lead was in the cards. By all means, figure your thing out.
That's my proposal. Nira, Haiti.
I don't have control of what the Divine do. If they still go with their acts, I am here to help that. Until then, I'm here to help you all. I do not have any control. I am just merely a usher.
No, you're not, Nira. And Booming steps forward, like in front of Nira. Under
The glow of the red
blood
sun?
light. Yeah. Crimson glow of the red sun.
Why does
Booming
it
looks
sound like a
fucking
country
demonic.
song? Sounds like a fucking country song.
The glow of the red sun. And Booming just looks into Nira's eyes and says, "You're not just an usher or whatever they call it. You're not just some divine emissary. You're not just a pawn in their game. You're Nira. You're you. You have free will. You can do what you want. Your life doesn't belong to anyone else but yourself."
And see, that's where we differ, Wuming. Mine. The powers that I have. I'm not living. I'm not even really alive. I'm just a figment. I am nothing but essence of water and like magic. I am here because of the elementals, and therefore I am, unfortunately, there. I don't have control of if and when it does happen. I could try to talk to them to see how things work, but past that, if they still go through with their plans, I have no control of what will happen next.
Right,
And-
but you don't have to help them.
I have no choice. This is my prophecy.
Well, fuck a prophecy. What do you want?
And I think her eyes just linger just on Wuming's a bit longer. And then looks down and away. I don't know. I never thought for myself. I never thought I would have to have this idea of choice is not something that we have. This idea of choice is extremely mortal and extremely new to me, and I'm not sure how to make it.
Wooming hands. I think she's been holding Boog's reins this entire time. She hands Boog's reins to Haiti. And then she steps forward, takes Nira, like either cups her hands around either side of Nira's face and kisses her.
Well,
And stays there for a moment and then like lets go and says, "Well, choice number one, I guess. Are you gonna kiss me back?"
Nira's stunned. She was like, "What? What was that? What was that?" And then she blinks. She's like, "Oh, yes." And then just goes in for another kiss.
And on that
Oh,
note,
yeah.
we're gonna fade a little bit to a day or two as you sort what's going on. And oh, there's a raid. Thank you so much, Phantom Roll Booth, for raiding. You came in at a perfect moment where two of our PCs have a wonderful intimate moment. And it is now like about 2 or 3 days later. You have gone back, tended to your wounds. We're gonna just sort of hand wave if you had things to ask of the mage. You have asked them and gotten some answers, and we will just use them as moments in between. You have something to say, Nira?
I have a question for you,
Hmm?
Keeper. If we are wounded underneath the unstable mark, are we cleared now? Or we
Yes,
not
you
wounded?
are.
Okay. That's all.
Yes. And you whatever equipment you need to have, you need to just assume you have them or you've replenished. For you in particular, rooming with the agency, as soon as you come back, Karina basically quits. She you can say something about it if you would like, or do something about it, but the reason that she gives for quitting is Wu-Ming was right. We were not ready for the field, and we almost killed a senior agent, and or died ourselves, and this is too much. I just wanted to be a researcher and sort of study more about the paranormal and supernatural, and this is not what I signed up for.
Am I in the room when she quits?
Yeah, you can be.
Okay, I think I'm there. Maybe it's during our like mission debriefing. And Wumi just sort of cuts in. Ma'am, it's not her fault. Karina, you did the best you could under that situation. This field of work is not for the lighthearted.
I'm so sorry I could have killed you. I've never had to deal with mages taking over my brain. I didn't even know what was happening. It felt like I lost a chunk of time. Do you know how violating that is?
I do. It's really messed up. And Karina, please take as much time off away from this industry as you want. Just my advice, take a month, don't do anything supernatural. Okay? Just read a book about boring people. Eat something that wasn't harvested from magic. Go somewhere far away from all of this. Just take care of yourself, Karina.
And she nods and leaves. And Seth goes, "Can I take a month off too?" And we cut away unless you have something to add to it.
Nope, that's great.
Yeah, so is there anything in particular just very quickly that you would like to kind of do before 2 or 3 days are up? Yes, Nira.
I want to go talk to the elements and see, like, okay, so if we're going to do this thing, right? Can it
Mhm.
not be like as bad as you're saying it is? Because these humans are kind of cool, and yeah.
Yeah, let's have a chat with the elements.
So yeah, I think one night Nira just slips out into the water and just dives down into the depths of the sea.
You feel the warmth and coolness of the water, and you feel the presence of your elders, of the elements around you. And you just sort of feel this sense of, like, you seem troubled. Child, what troubles you?
As you've sent me here to spend time with the mortals, is to get an idea of how they're doing before you've brought your mighty hammer onto them. I've gotten to know who they are. I've gotten to see how they live their lives. I've gotten to see where they are and who they are and how they interact with, and I feel like the original plan should not be how it is anymore. I feel like, yes, a change is needed, because change is always needed and is never comfortable, but what y'all have planned does not seem to be, would probably set back the mortals well past the years, and I ask, no, I plead with you all to please reconsider the consequences that you'll bring onto them.
And there's a very long pause as they take in your words. And they say, that is what mortals do. Get attached to them. Start feeling for them. But you must remember, mortals have the capability of lying, manipulation. They say they want to be at in a balance with us, yet they use us. They harness us. They treat our gifts like beasts of burden to serve them rather than to help each other.
I don't know how much you've been on there, and that is all true from what you've said. I will not disagree with you on that, but also, they are loving, they are kind, they are compassionate. They feel each other's pain without anyone bleeding. They understand and make you feel like you're something more than what you are. I just think that maybe we could try to be better for them if they could try to be better for us.
There's another pause, and they say, perhaps we shall see what happens. But for now, if you do not stop these mortals from doing what they seem to be what they seem bent on doing, even if it hurts them in the long run, if that is not stopped, there will be no mortals to save.
Agreed. And I will.
And you feel the elements, the divine presence slowly fading.
And I think as Nira... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
And I think as Nira, swims back to the surface, and she's out, she can see the city in the distance, like the lights glimmering at night, bouncing off the water. I think she actually starts crying. This is the first time she's had emotions, and she doesn't know what to do with them.
And with that, if there's any sort of like very quick things you would like to do, I am going to move us forward.
Maybe a little break, because we are at the halfway mark.
We will take it just with this one moment. After a couple of days, as you are learning information and trying to gather resources to figure out how to deal with the Ascendants, Nira, and to a certain extent, Cardine too, you get this big sort of like, disturbance in the force, sort of a ping of something wrong in the center of the city. And Nira, you actually hear the cry, like the anguished wails of one of your kind being captured and hurt. You can feel their life force being siphoned away. And with that, we'll take a break.
Excellent.
No big deal. No big deal.
And we will just take a quick 5-minute break. Please go hydrate, stretch, do what you need to do, and be right back in 5 minutes. See y'all.
Beesh.
and welcome back to Kahaaniyaan. We ended on a bit of a cliffhanger. Yeah, the first, if you're just joining us, there was a lot of emotions and intimate conversations and big revelations of stuff. And yeah, Nira, you get, and Carnane also, you get this big disturbance on the force somewhere in the middle of the city. Haiti and um and Wuming, you hear it, you physically hear it as you're probably more downtown. This is a big enough event that you can feel sort of the earth tremble just a little bit, but more than anything, you hear this high-pitched anguish scream that almost feels like it's coming from the ground, from the environment itself. And as you all rush to the, I imagine you are rushing to where you hear or feel it.
Yes.
Absolutely. Are we
We're
like
at-
all separated in Kodak right now, or?
You can be if your places of rest or otherwise where you are separate, unless you chose to sort of be together at a certain place. Where are you? Actually, where are you all when this happens?
Carnane's at Salim's. It is the cleanest it's been since he's arrived. Like, he's got all these little servants and stuff who are like all the mini hymns who are now cleaning the place up. And like,
Are
I
they
think
like
for
weird
the
crabs
first
holding
time-
like a dustpan, and like another crab is like holding a broom, and they're just
there's a lot of like eating dust and random detritus and like
Oh, so they're eating and
kind
not
of just
actually cleaning. Got
pincer
it.
grabbing things and moving them around and stuff rather than like the normal thing. But kind of for the first time since Carnane was summoned, Salim feels like he's getting the deal he tried to get when he summoned Carnane, in terms of like the land. I think the past couple of days, Carnane himself is probably looking worse than he has in a while. He has been researching stuff for the past couple of days, and like his skin in a lot of places is visibly sagging, or like there are weird points at his joints where something's like not fitting properly anymore. And
no.
he hears it and then he just kind of runs out after it and sets a gaggle of these little mini hymns to go find what it is.
Yeah, and the sort of telepathic connection that you have, you get the sense the great fountain spirit, like the water spirit of the city, is being vacuumed.
Well, let's check this out.
And Nira, you where are you at this moment?
I think Nero's, in the ocean, just vibing.
And Wuming, Haiti.
Wuming is on her way out from that conversation in the agency with Karina.
Yeah.
When she hears the disturbance, presumably?
And feels it a little in the ground. And also, the agency does have a couple of supernatural alarms that are just blaring. It's like, like a fire evacuation sort of din. That sort of a din. And you see people running. Like, especially the more sort of agents that are kind of just patrolling the city, that usually just patrol the city, are running out in like all sorts of protective gear. So the few mages that do actually work with the agency are also running out. And they're like, yeah, they look like they're ready for some big battle of some kind. You don't know what's going on.
I grab one of their arms and I say, hey, what's going on? I'm with the agency.
I apparently there's a couple of mages that are they're doing something like the water just the water and just runs out.
Yeah, at that, Wu-Ming just lets go of their hand immediately, whistles. Boo comes charging out of his stall, like he jumps over like a cabbage cart, knocks over a bunch of cabbages, and Wu-Ming like jumps on top of Boog and just goes, yeah, and like nudges Boog
Boog starts
towards
flying
servants.
versus...
Oh my god! Well, hey, not out in the open. Remember. Okay, whatever. Good boy, go, fly.
Haiti, what are you up to?
I think Haiti is in like a maybe a library or some sort of research center, and just trying to look up like past histories, maybe talking to a historian of where they can find like texts on like past end of the world stuff or anything in regards to that, because yeah, that really freaked them out more than they thought it would. So they're just trying to find any leads on if there's any other alternatives, because the 3 that were given kind of sucked. So
Yeah, and you certainly get some information that will review when, you know, you're about to sit down and read, and you probably are clutching the books when you leave, so you can always reference it later. When you feel the tremble and hear the anguish scream that almost feels
Whoa.
like it's coming from everywhere, nowhere, and you hear some alarms off in the distance.
that does not sound good. As I step out, I'm assuming everyone's running. Like I
Yeah.
see people.
You see
like,
people running
scattered.
away, and what look to be heavily armored people who have the same sort of demeanor as Wu-Ming running in.
Okay.
And as you look up, you see Boog, like, you know, like a Christmas deer, sort of like in the air, speeding over all of this foot traffic.
I think Haiti, Haiti sees Boog, and they kind of smile and just kind of mutters, "Always going to the rescue," and turns towards, goes against the crowd, and looks at the butterfly and just kind of like talks to it and just like, "Come with me," and starts running towards the danger.
Yeah, so I will say you all arrive at around the same time, and this is the scene you see. You arrive maybe just before the agency folks arrive, and I'm just gonna have them kind of be a background aid or hinder, depending on what's happening. You see this large fountain lake, sort of like place in the city, is dry as if it, you know, dry and like you see the bottom, you see the similar to what you saw in that abandoned temple just outside the city, not the air temple, the one where you had seen the water, the oh gosh, words, the water, the step thing. Words are hard today. And
The stepwell?
Stepwell, yes, thank you. The stepwell, where it was like dried as if there had been no water there for years. And this fountain, you know, is always like, it's sort of a Koldak engineering marvel with like the river water and sort of a beautiful lake, and like, you know, think like sort of the Las Vegas falls and stuff. Like it's an engineering marvel in the middle of the city that is beautiful, a tourist attraction, and it is dry as if no water existed for decades. And you see over sort of this beautiful bridge where you could get a good view of this, you see 3 figures holding out what looks to be some sort of an orb, and it's slowly filling with what looks to be water, and this watery sort of aura. And you see this kind of misty figure, large figure, slowly kind of being sapped into it. And the two mages on the side of the mage holding this orb are basically doing magic that is scaring people away, of like, just making sure nobody stops them. And this is the scene you see as you all arrive. What do you do?
So I would like to go first, if I can.
Sure.
And I think as soon as Nira felt the disturbance in the force, she raises out of the ocean and just sort of like rides a wave in. And steps like will like use the water as stepping stairs as it sort of just like flops down. And she's like, "Who do you think you are?" And like lets out a scream because she's pissed because it's water. It's her babies. It's her people. And she is going to run in with pulling her trident out of midair, out of the depths of the pocket dimension, and is going to go straight for the ones holding the jar, hoping to knock it out of their hands.
All right. That is, I believe, kicking some ass.
Kicking some ass. Yeah, and I'm also your unarmed attacks are 2 harm, intimate, and messy. Okay, so it's unarmed. Okay, I just want to double check that.
Yeah.
I was just checking my smite to see what it was. So, kicking some ass. That is tough. I'm a +2 tough person. Come on, dice. Dice. You know what? I'm using luck.
Okay.
This is a
Yeah,
luck
this
point.
is a time to be using luck. So it is as if you had rolled a 12.
Mm-hmm. Instead picked an enhanced effect. You completely hold the advantage. All hunters involved will get a in the fight get +1 forward. You suffer no harm at all. Your attack inflicts double damage. Your attack drives the enemy away in a route. I think we get the advantage.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go with that because I'm specifically trying to knock it out of their hands.
Yeah. So
I'm trying to stop the thing they're doing.
You basically try to knock it out of their hands, but it is fused. However, with the distraction, I will say that they stop channeling whatever's happening and the sucking noise stops. And they are just like, who the? Oh, wonderful. Another one for my bot. And you see that this isn't actually Uruj. This looks like someone much older, possibly more powerful. This is Bilal. You, I guess you wouldn't know who this is, but let's just assume you have some documents that have found out that there's actually some sort of a prophet amongst the Ascendants who's been going around sort of getting people to the cause, called Bilal.
I'm assuming it's more like a download, like, hey, look out for this person, sort of like ping.
Yeah. I'm gonna say you got that information in the 2-3 days as you were looking into like who are the Ascendants, and you found out that this is sort of the prophet going around.
Did I at least cause some sort of damage, or did I just stop the thing?
You stop the thing, and oh, how much damage do you inflict?
Oh, with my trident, it is. Oh god, so many tabs. Hold on, sorry. Pop, 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 pop. 3 harm, silver, holy.
Yeah. So initially there's almost like this kind of a bubble, but because you are you have your holy smite, you just puncture right through it, and you see sort of like that's what stops the channeling, this kind of like like as they take that trident into their shoulder, and they just stare at you and have this
stare back.
big wide smile and very familiar glasses, mirrored glasses. and they sort of look at you and say, "Ah, another daughter off the ocean."
Ah, another defiler. Disgusting.
Who would like to go next?
I think I'd like to go last if other people want to do their entrances.
Yes. Okay. So, are there any innocents nearby?
No, the two mages flanking below seem to have scared all the mortals away.
Okay. And how many mages are there total?
Total 3. There
Three,
are
okay.
2 of them flanking, and because you took, I will say Nira, actually, because you took them by surprise, and with the whole you did so well, you know, you really kicked some ass, you managed to surprise them and hit the main one directly. You notice that these 2 are kind of guarding, warding this mage.
Was it me just riding a water wave fastly in there and then just like bypassing them like you don't bother me.
Yeah. You're not quite sure if you're going to be able to do that again, as these mages, all 3 of them, look quite strong. And yes, Wuming. That's what, and you see Nira just come up and be like, "Who dare? How dare?"
Okay.
How dare you, mortal?
And we're sort of like in the middle. You said this used to be a stepple in the middle of the city, or is this more like a fountain?
It's a it's a fountain,
fountain
with an artificial lake and a bridge, and it's very picturesque, almost like a park feature.
Okay, like a very big fountain.
Yeah, very big fountain.
Okay. Wuming is going to gallop atop Boog across
That is absolutely
like
dry, so all you see is the mud underneath and whatever the concrete and wood or whatever is under for the water and like the pipes or what.
Okay.
It's bone
Totally.
dry.
All right. Wuming is going to, I guess if Boog can freaking fly, then she's going to soar down on Boog, like with like, high up. She's going to pull out her recurve bow, like knock an arrow and like draw a bead on one of the 2 mages that are like warding the 3rd one and just like try to like pin that mage. Not try to kill them. I don't know how damage really works here. Can I declare this non-lethal? Just maybe like knock them out?
I'm gonna follow the rule of your intention matters. So if you manage to kind of hit all the bars that are there, you can choose whether it was meant to be lethal or not. Magic, I'm still gonna rule with the whole, if you're throwing magic fireballs at them, it's a little hard to do it non-lethally.
Okay, then I'm just gonna try to like pin them through like a shoulder and probably attach their body to a nearby tree to like pin them down and take them out of the fight, basically.
Yeah, you get a +1 to that with Nira's advantage.
Okay, awesome. Let me roll that. 5, 11, 12.
Yeah,
that is a full hit.
You get in addition to the extra effect, you get to, or rather, instead of an extra effect, you may choose an enhanced effect.
Okay. I'm going to say your attack drives the enemy away in a route. So how I'm trying to interpret that is I want to scare both of these like mages like away, or at least drive them toward me, like have them like drop the ward on the 3rd mage and focus their attention on me, if that's possible.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that you kind of pin them, and they're going to definitely try to, when they are able to do something, they will probably direct their attack at you.
Okay.
But
the harm I deal with my bow to just 1 target is 4.
You notice that the ward that they have is not just that they're using magic to ward this 3rd mage. They're using their life force to ward this mage.
Okay.
So that is sort of, they are going to probably be, because they're going to act recklessly, is what I'm going to say they're going to do. So they're going to put themselves in the line of fire, which is bad, because if they get hurt or get knocked out or die, the ward's going to come down anyway. So I'm gonna say that they act recklessly because they actually cannot control this ward.
Okay, then in that case, I'm gonna pick something else. I'm gonna pick, uh, your attack inflicts double the normal harm. I just want to take this guy out.
Yeah. So how much harm did you do?
That's 8 total, my friend.
Oh yeah. You knock, since you wanted it to be non-lethal, you knock them the heck out. I'm gonna say, like, you pin them to the tree and they smack their head on the tree and crumple. And you notice that this ward sort of lightens just a little bit.
Awesome. Okay, yeah. Then Wu Ming's gonna shout out, "They're getting vulnerable! Someone take that other guy out!"
Haiti, I believe you can do something at this point.
I can.
As in, because I know Carnane wanted to go last, which is why I was like,
Oh yeah. Well, I'm not sure what Carnane wants to do, but I want to maybe provide a big distraction so they don't like bug Carnane. So there's one other.
There's two mages now. One is unconscious.
Okay. So obviously not the unconscious one, but the one that's still going. I want to use what does that feel like? The snoot move, and just use a distraction, and I use the distraction, my butterfly, and just like
you just come up and straight up ask.
No, well, the butterfly comes in first, kind of flicking, and then while they're like trying to, I'm imagining while they're trying to shoot it away, like I come running, and then just like almost like an anime, like just going, viewing them in each corner, just like, so what are you doing here? Is this a Are you doing that? Are you like Urge, where you're trying to get this siphon thing? What's that? What are you doing? What are you holding? No, kind of just.
And the mage that was sort of like keeping the side mage, who we're gonna call minion number 1, is sort of like looking, eyeing, is like eyeing at what happened. Like Nira just like took a shot at their boss, and actually they're kind of hurting just a little bit because that wound that was there, like they took a little bit of it. The bulk of it was taken by the leader, but they took a little bit of it too, and they're sort of wary of Nira. And then suddenly this person on a flying stag comes and shoots their friend, and it's just like, wait, what are you doing here? This is like, what? And it's just so confused. And I'm gonna say that, yeah, you distract them. Does a distraction have any sort of mechanical effect, or is it just, it's a distraction for?
Yeah, it's just a distraction until it'll create enough time for everyone else to act in the meantime. So
okay, yeah. So Carnane, you can go.
So Garnane is like preceded by this kind of scuttling as the rest of like a squad of his little mini-me's scuttle out of alleys and the like, and start making sure that there's kind of no one else in the area, and shooing onlookers away, and like distracting these mages. And he's striding down the main street towards the carnage. You said that the ward is like redirecting all of their life forces towards the main mage, like keep him protected.
Yeah, it seems like it's sort of a protective bubble, but also it seems to be, as you saw Nira kind of just come in and just slam. It seems to be this combination of, if the leader takes any damage, their mages will take it instead, as well as there's a protective layer that forms like a barrier from like mundane weapons of, like, you know,
like
projectiles.
To hijack that spell.
Ooh, how are you gonna hijack that spell?
I'm going to like basically grab it and make it so it's benefiting me rather than them. So rather than their leader. So just like I'm reaching into the core of this spell and pulling it apart so that it is now mine.
Okay, I'm gonna say that this is some big magic. And if you fail, this is what's going to happen. You are going to basically take the place of minion number 2.
Ooh, sounds fun.
as a warding shield life force for this mage.
All right. That is 4 and 7 is so 4 and 3 is 7 plus 2 is 9. I think I'm going to mark luck, and this just goes exactly as I wish it to.
Okay.
I'm
We
just
ain't holding
need
things
to-
back now.
I need to look up what happens next in my omens. Oh,
portal
Lord.
Yeah, baby.
Okay, we will deal with that in a moment. Yeah, it happens exactly. Please describe what happens as you do this.
So Garnane strides into the plaza and reaches forward, like reaches out with one hand towards the leader. The others are like clearly preparing their magic because they need to take this blow. And as the magic prepares to absorb the blow and distribute it among them, he kind of reaches out, his mouth distends, and he bites down on something, and there's this shimmer in the air as it tears out of the leader of the group, and it starts to funnel these mages' lives into Karnane.
I will say, as you do that, and it looks like there's some sort of a force doing it, you do as you intend, but this sort of force that of transference that feels like some sort of space stays open, and this portal is now pulling those two mages in, and is Nira and Wu Ming and Haiti to a certain extent. If you stay here any longer, you might get sucked in as well. This may... So it is now essentially their turn to react, and minion number 1 is just like, I'm done. I'm leaving. And is going to try to book it, and is we'll see how far they go. But this, with the breaking off the spell and everything that's happened, at this point, as all the magic protections break, the orb falls out of this leader's hand and falls to the ground. It doesn't break, it just kind of thud and goes like rolls in a particular direction. And you notice that the sucking had stopped for a moment, but the minute that it sort of fell, the siphon is still pulling away this water spirit now. And without a mage to control it, it is now sucking every elemental in this area. That includes you, Nira. You're feeling this force kind of sucking in. So these two big things are happening at the moment. There's a portal open, and that orb is still doing its job.
Oop. Yeah, I think as Nira's conflicted, like, do I kill this guy or do I stop this? And I think she's like, hesitating, trying to like figure out. And then she pulls her Triton out of the mage, below.
Below.
Can you write it so I can get pronunciation?
Yeah, so it's Bilal. Yeah,
thank you.
exactly.
Below, yeah. And pulls it out, gives them a look, and goes to smash the siphon.
All right. Oof, this is a big magic, and I will tell you, if you fail, you will get sucked in.
Okay. This is a thing I'm willing to take.
Can I help out?
Yeah, you can.
Here?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no initiative, so it's mainly just making sure everybody has a turn to go before I do stuff. So yes, you can totally help.
Do you want to help out
I think
first before I
Booming-
roll, or?
Let's see how your roll goes to see if it's
Okay.
necessary.
All right. What do I roll for big magic? Do I just roll weird?
Yes, it is just like use magic, but big magic has extra things.
Okay, maybe weird's a +1. That's fine. And I still get a +1 from my +1 forward from before, or
I'm gonna say that actually cancels out with the whole this is a siphon for you specifically.
that's valid. So just my +1 from the weird then.
Yep.
Okay.
Actually, for help, if you're gonna help, you should probably, because, you know,
I?
it might
I want
matter.
to see what the roll is first before
Okay.
I roll
Alright.
to see if if you get like a 10 plus, it doesn't really matter.
9.
Oh, I want to help you to get that to a 10 plus, because that's like the next grade, in PPTA. Okay, so booming is going to just like knock 3 arrows at once while she's like flying above, like, these mages and like the drop sphere and the widening portal, and she's just gonna go, watch out, and she's gonna like let these 3 arrows loose and like just further distract the mages. She's gonna try to like pin, like hit the mages with these arrows, and also like use Boog. Boog is letting out a, as like he's like circling above head to just like draw the attention of the magic, so Nira can focus. And that is gonna be plus cool. Whoops, that's a 3. Okay, that's a 5. That's an 8 plus my cool, which is a 3. 1, 2, 3. I got an 11 on my plus on my help out.
Yeah. So you give them a +1.
Yep, I give you a +1 on your roll, so that bumps it up to a 10.
That is a 10.
Nice.
So we
Yeah.
did it.
Yeah.
High five
So,
us.
so you please describe what you do.
I think as Nira pulls the Triton out of Bilal, she'll twirl it around and just pierce it down into the siphon, shattering it.
Yeah, and as it shatters, it explodes in like a water, like suddenly all this water that was missing, it's starting to fill up very quickly, especially where all of you are standing. You're gonna get drenched and possibly be like, waist deep in water at this point. And this explosion of water happens, and you sort of hear again a huge wail as sort of the this whole thing breaks. However, there's still this portal that has suddenly opened up and is kind of sucking mortal life out of everything nearby.
I did my part.
Yeah, I helped out. It's up to Karnane and Haiti.
All right.
Yeah, so Haiti Wooming specifically, if you do not do something to either move away, you are in danger of getting sucked into whatever this is, and it doesn't feel like it's going to be pleasant hearing the just judging by the screaming of the mages being sucked into it.
Haiti looks over at Karnane and is just, you wouldn't happen to have a plan, would you? To some of your Prince of Apocalypse moves to kind of shut that down?
Kind of. I'm going to need some help magically. I'm not great at benevolent stuff. So if you can tell me how it's doing and if it's still trying to suck you in as I work, and not sure how you are with sorcery, but running tally, that would be greatly appreciated.
You know what? Sure, why not? Anything works at this point. So I will help.
All right. I'm basically trying to like stabilize this portal or like shunt it off so that it's presumably it can't be closed because it's part of this big apocalyptic prophecy, but I'm hoping to make it so that it's like stable, so it's not actively sucking things in, but is instead kind of an open gate that isn't hurting people and can hopefully be like worked with. And I might be making this like a ritual in terms of like just taking a while to do it and set this up.
So to seal something, you usually need an anchor of some kind. In the case of these portals, an anchor needs to be a person or a creature?
Fortunately, there are 2 screaming mages whose
Oh.
life force is currently attached to me, again, which should serve pretty well. I have already kind of solved that problem without, hopefully, without harming Haiti. In terms of people who are going to survive the next 20.
And the way the anchor is created is they basically kind of stay in this weird limbo. Like, they will basically not be able to come back without this portal reopening. It's not that dissimilar to what happened to you and your brother.
Well, fortunately, we've got the 2 mages attached to me. So that's fine by me. We've got the +1. The +1 forward was on the last roll, right?
All hunters involved. No, that still applies.
Oh, okay, cool. Excellent. So I'm rolling that. I've got 6, 8, 9, which is, I believe, it succeeds with a cost.
Yes. So you succeed, but you, because they are connected to you and they are attached to you, you are permanently going to lose 1 of your harm boxes.
Ooh, very neat.
Oh,
Until
should I
this
count that
portal,
as-
yeah, so it's always going to be like you cannot heal it unless this seal is broken.
Excellent.
It's the equivalent of you take 1 harm, ignore armor, but because this is big magic and a big portal summon thing, they're kind of sealing it with them as the guardians, and because they're attached to you, a little piece of your essence has gone into this, sealing it. Do you want to describe how this happens?
Yeah, I think he reaches out while everyone's like watching and this portal is sucking people in, and he kind of thrusts a hand into it and the skin like kind of disintegrates as it touches the portal. You can't see what's on the other side, but the screaming like quiets and then stops as he's kind of frozen in place staring at this thing, and the portal starts to glow and then slowly die down as it has guardians and is now like sated to some degree. And he steps back. All right, that was a lot less painful than I thought it was going to be. And he pulls his arm out of it, and instead of like a hand or even like a weird chitinous clawed hand, it looks kind of like spider legs or insect legs coming out and banded together to try and imitate a hand. And like the skin's slowly starting to knit itself back together up around it, and he kind of just like sticks that behind himself and just, yeah, all right, portal solved. Should not mess around with that magically. Going to be unpleasant if we do. And like a bit of this, like the chitin on him kind of cracks as the backlash from the spell takes effect. And I am probably going to try and not do that again. But portals handled and stable. How are we doing? Anyone injured?
I like Hades kind of touching themselves, checking that all body parts are intact. I think so.
Good to hear.
So, is that it? Is this over? Wooming, like Boog flies down from like the upper canopy, right? Like hooves land on this like parched earth, and like Wooming like hops off the back of her stag and rushes over to Kahaaniyaan and Nira and Haiti.
Is Bilal still around?
No, Bilal's now a guardian of this portal in some who knows where pocket dimension. Those 2 mages are gone.
Oh.
Nothing of them remain.
No, nothing. Nah, except for that orb, which is cracked into pieces at the bottom of now this beautiful lake and fountain. A little
yeah, I think
sadly,
Go
like
ahead.
there's the pressure is not quite come back to like as if it's kind of like as if the spirit is a little beaten down. But with time, probably fine. Just right now, really shaken and beaten down.
I
Makes
think
sense.
as Wing's coming down, Nira's surfaces because she was in the lake. I guess when this happened,
Yep.
and like pushes her hair back out of her face and like starts walking up out of the lake.
Oh, as you do, you see this kind of looks a lot like you in sort of similar features and whatever, but more, I would say, green and blue hues of like fresh water, and just grabs you and kind of gives you this most like, thank you so much, pathetic hug of, you saved me, sister!
I think Nira's just gonna hug back and like grab them by the heads and she's like, always, and then like gently allows her to go back into her water.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Just coming out. Oh, heroic, like pushing my
Yes.
hair on my face.
Yeah, Wooming approaches Nira. Are you okay? Are you hurt?
I'm fine. I'm just worried about my sister.
Is she your sister? Wasn't aware you had siblings.
We're all
Or are all
connected.
bodies right, of course. Is she okay?
A little shaken, but fine.
What's up with the orb? Is it
It was a siphon.
destroyed?
It's destroyed.
And it's broken. Okay. Good. Carnane.
Portal opened up. I handled it. You will not have to deal with Bilal again.
Where is Bilal?
Guarding the portal forevermore into eternity, which, yeah. I mean, it's not bad. You don't actually perceive the passage of time or anything, or so, decent in terms of eternal punishments.
Can they hurt us from where they are?
No, but someone might summon them out of it in a few thousand years, and that'll be an entire thing.
Okay, that's a
You're
problem for
not
someone
sure
else.
if you basically created you and your brother all over again.
More or less, just with like less impressive things. And yeah, this probably isn't healing anytime soon. And he kind of reveals the like spidery limbs clutched into a hand again. Which I don't know. Thumbs were nice, but gonna miss having another thumb. Gonna miss having two thumbs.
Carnane, let me take a look at that. I don't know if any of my medicine can help with this. I've splinted wounds and limbs on the battlefield before, but not like this.
And I think Nira comes over and she's like, I can't even help that.
Yeah, there are prices to doing things that aren't of your nature.
Always.
Yeah, in this case, the price is pretty minor. Can't hide my arm, and I'm not quite at top shape, but that or soul sucking portal in the middle of town square, easy choice. We done here? We're
And as you say, are we done here? Nira, you feel far, far off in the distance. You're not even sure where it is.
Mm-hmm.
Probably way out of the city, but it is enough of an event that it triggers. And even you, Carnane, with your spidey senses, sorry, you feel the slight disturbance. You feel one of your sisters is no more, like as in, not like sisterhood, not actual relative.
Yeah.
And you are pretty sure that you saved this one, but they got a water siphon somewhere else.
I think Nira's, how do the mortals say it? Furious.
And with
Mira?
that,
Oh, okay.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just Haiti was just gonna look at Nira's expression and just be like, are you okay? This is a good thing, right? Why do you look pissed?
And I think this will all cut.
Yeah, and with that, we're going to end today's episode, and we're going to deal with what happens next episode in 2
Joy.
weeks from now.
Great.
So before we go, let's quickly go around the table and tell us about yourself and where we can find you on the internet. Let's start with Nira.
Hey, yeah, I play Nira. My name's Mo. I go by they, she pronouns. You can find me on all the socials at Serena Bezos, SIRENABESOS. It's easier to follow me there because I do a lot. Like tomorrow, I'm playing Blades in the Dark with no initiative for our final game. Tuesday, I'm playing on TRPG with the last episode of Passing las Pasiones with the all Latin cast for raising money for races. Friday, you can find me on Hunters Entertainment, streaming our design for Kids in Capes. Do I have everything? I think that's everything. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Just follow me on Twitter. It's easier. Connie, Looming.
All right, that it's my turn. Hey everyone, I've been Connie, pronouns they, he, and she. I play everyone's favorite grumpy professional, Booming, she, her. You can find me when I'm not playing on Huetopia TV Kahaaniyaan on Twitter at ByConnieChang, that's ByConniechang. I am also the GM and executive producer behind Transplanar RPG, which, if you don't know, it's an all transgender people of color led 100% homebrew D&D 5th edition live streamed actual play campaign set in an original non-colonial anti-orientalist world. If that's interesting to you, give us a follow on Twitch at Transplanar RPG and on Twitter at Transplanar RPG, or search Transplanar RPG on your favorite podcasting platform, because that's right, our past episodes are now out as a podcast. We release new podcast episodes every Tuesday. So follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Just hit that follow button. It's really, really helpful for metrics and engagement. And if you like live streams more than podcasts, you can tune in Saturdays at 3 p.m. US Central Time at Transplanar RPG on Twitch. That is when we stream. I'm going to pass things along to Bashir.
Hey, I'm Bashir Gauss, he, him. You can find me on Twitter at Bashir Gauss. You can find me on itch at havocfet.itch.io. I am a freelance writer, game designer, cultural consultant, working in the TRPG community, in addition to streaming here, performing here on Huetopia. You can find, you can find a bunch of my work, including the Southlands stuff for Kobold Press, with all over the internet. And I did cultural consulting on Tal'Dorei Reborn, which Critical Role has announced recently. Yeah.
Kupo.
Yay! Hello, I'm Kupo. My pronouns are they, them, and I played Haiti, the Snoop, whose pronouns are also they, them. In addition to finding me here every other Sundays, you can also find me at the All Nerds Here channel, also on Sundays, every Sunday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where we play Animon, basically a Digimon TTRPG, basically, or inspired by Digimon, I should say. So I'm living out my childhood. It's great. Yeah, so you can find me there, yes, every Sunday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And social media wise, you can find me on Twitter at Kuponite, KUP0, KNIGHT.
Yay! And I am Mariam. I go by they, them pronouns. You can find me on Twitter at media_junkie. I do quite a few things. You can find me here on Kahaaniyaan every alternate Sundays. And we are now 2 episodes away from our final of the season. And I also am a co-host of their Super Geek, which is on Thursdays, alternate Thursdays. And I believe this coming Thursday, we're going to have the second part of Run, which is a wonderful Afrocentric space opera TRPG. We are having so much fun. And yeah, please check that out. And Media Junkies are great. My Twitter's a great way to find out all the things I'm doing. I write and I podcast, and that's me. We are now going to switch over to our thank you for watching screen, and if you can just hang out for a couple of seconds extra, we're gonna go raid INDG, which is wonderful. I need diverse games, and go please show them some love, and we will be back in 2 weeks with Kahaaniyaan. All right, good evening, everybody. See you all later.